It's early 2029, and in the dimly lit enclave of her apartment, a melancholic melody of solitude reverberated through the air. The scent of tobacco smoke clung to the atmosphere, draping the room in a somber shroud, a constant reminder of the embers of the civil war that loomed beyond its walls. Outside the grimy window, the fractured remnants of a once proud town stretched out, a stark testament to the cataclysmic upheaval of the civil war that had plunged society into an abyss of turmoil. Evelyn, once a portrait of youthful exuberance, now wore the pallor of confinement like a heavy cloak. Perched upon the windowsill, her thoughts fixed on the desolation that lay beyond, she appeared to straddle the thin precipice between sanity and the void. Her trembling fingers cradled a cigarette, its ember casting fleeting shadows upon her features, which had weathered and matured prematurely. Time had etched lines of weariness onto Evelyn's countenance, a visual chronicle of a nation's rise and fall. The Civil War triumph of the neo-nationalists, draped in the guise of a new order, had cast a malevolent pall over the land. Streets that once hummed with life had succumbed to the safety of emptiness. The vibrant pulse of an outspoken press had faded into silence, smothered by the iron grip of the new order authority. Evelyn's world had become a confined haven, a sanctuary insulated from the malignant spectre that had strangled her city. The threshold between her retreat and the menacing unknown had swelled into an insurmountable divide. Within her apartment, a mere whisper of sustenance remained, a stark reminder of the ever-narrowing gap between insanity and reality. For her, a warm bath offered a fragile lifeline, a threadbare connection to existence itself. And yet, as the days bled into one another, the currents of Evelyn's mind churned and roiled. A cacophony of emotions waged war within her, each striving for dominance over her fragile psyche. Confusion mingled with anger, while the crushing weight of grief tightened its grip, forming an ever-tightening coil of torment. Her lost love Gabriel paraded through the corridors of her memory, his ethereal face a haunting reminder of the toll exacted by the relentless conflict. Torn apart by the Civil War, Gabriel had lost himself in the worlds of cheap beer and opioids. Deep within the recesses of her consciousness, Evelyn grappled with a torrent of inner discord, the dissonance of the New Order ideology stifling her very essence. Her telephone, a tenuous link to the outside world, crackled with the static of propaganda. As its screen flickered to life, it unfurled a tapestry of falsehoods meticulously woven by those who sought dominion over her truth, the triumphant new order itself. The once luminous realm of independent media had been swallowed by shadows, supplanted by a chorus that sang the praises of the regime. Bitterness surged through Evelyn's veins, a potent reminder that the currency of truth had been debased, relegated to the realm of fable. As the weeks danced their slow ballet, the boundaries between wakefulness and slumber grew nebulous for Evelyn. Nightmares prowled in the labyrinthine corridors of her mind, their malevolent presence an embodiment of her deepest fears. Shrouded figures drew nearer, their inscrutable masks a veneer of menace. Echoes of threats reverberated, punctuated by the staccato symphony of gunshots. She would grasp any form of sanctuary, heart racing in a panicked rhythm, clutching her hoodie as if that alone could shield her from the encroaching darkness. A new day's feeble light offered a fragile respite, piercing through the inky abyss and banishing the specters that danced upon the fringes of her sanity. Yet, solitude remained an unwavering companion, bearing witness to the slow disintegration of her very self. The walls, once a bastion against the outside chaos, seemed to inch closer, constricting her resolve with a vice-like grip. Evelyn's gaze, once locked on the world beyond, began to turn inward, traversing the labyrinthine corridors of her own thoughts. The battle that raged within her mirrored the conflict of the Civil War, ideologies clashing in a relentless struggle for supremacy. Day by day, the weight of her isolation grew heavier, the fight for her sanity as arduous as any physical skirmish. In the shadowed chamber of her apartment, Evelyn waged her own revolution, an internal war for self-preservation against the inexorable forces that sought to unravel her. As the war-torn city outside exhaled its dirge of despair, Evelyn's internal battlefield raged on. Whether victory or defeat awaited her remained a cryptic enigma in a world where truth had been distorted and reality warped. And so, she found herself increasingly reliant on the silent testimony of each opioid tablet, a chemical solace for a mind teetering on the precipice. Beyond the confines of her existence, the world continued its tumultuous symphony of chaos and control, an ever-shifting canvas of human struggle. Within those four walls, Evelyn's world offered no glimmer of hope. In the darkest of times, the resilience and potential for redemption within the human spirit were put to the ultimate test. Another tablet bore witness to this fragile battle against the overwhelming tide of despair, a testament to the enduring power of an opioid artifice in a world built upon deception.